same class of drug, that is etugliflozin, it literally failed to prove all the parameters, the class effect of SGLT2 inhibitors, except regarding the hospitalization for heart failure. But for that, it was almost disappointing. The Vertis CV was a disappointing outcome actually. So keeping that in view, so we cannot certainly at this point of time, we cannot say that as an alternative to empagliflozin and linagliptin, because of the robust evidence what we have, even the latest the Emperor HF also, which was in favor with regards to this, the cardiovascular, the heart failure with HREF, that is with reduced ejection fraction, the subsegment, and even the US FDA recommendations for this particular molecule, the dapagliflozin, to be approved in patients not suffering from type 2 diabetes. They can be put on for the heart failure or the hospitalization for heart failure. Or even the dapagliflozin was the first molecule to be approved by the US FDA with regards to the chronic kidney disease in patients with diabetes as well as not suffering from diabetes. So we need to have some, per se I would like to stress upon this particular point that okay, way back in 2015 or 2017 or 2018, the US FDA has given approval for these fixed dose combinations, respectively the empagliflozin and linagliptin, and the dapagliflozin and the saxagliptin, and the etugliflozin and the sitagliptin. But to the best of my knowledge, so we are very comfortable with this particular combination of empagliflozin and linagliptin, which is available for us from 2018, I think, if I remember correctly, in India. So we are expecting this Dapa-Saxa also, but okay, that's a little disappointing, because when it comes to this heart failure, saxagliptin is one DPP4 inhibitor that is to be kept in mind, and that is to be avoided. And one more concern with this thing that I would like to highlight with regards to the vildagliptin is, according to the VIVID study, this VIVIDD, VIVID study, where it showed the increase in the left ventricular volume, which is not a favorable effect. When you take into consideration the empagliflozin and the linagliptin, it has got robust, like starting from the EMPA-REG and EMPA-REG outcomes, and even the latest Emperor HF and the Emprise, and then the linagliptin has got robust, like the Carmelina and the Carolina. These are all the CVOTs which we have the back of empagliflozin and linagliptin. And per se, you take even the dapagliflozin also, you have got the declare TIMI58 until the DAPA-CKD, DAPA-HF, and the US FDA has asked the people to stop the DAPA-CKD so early because of the seeing the overwhelming response with regards to the renal outcomes. So how far it is like the question of trust once again pops up actually when it is used, you said, as an alternative to empagliflozin, but for taking into consideration the cost cutting measures only, especially which holds good with Indian scenario, where the cost is the biggest limiting factor for not going for the empagliflozin and the linagliptin combination. So a suitable economical combination would be like remogliflozin plus vildagliptin, but we need to have robust CVOTs actually with regards to this the cardiovascular and the renal continuum, and the synergy. I don't call it either synergistic effect or the additive effect. It is only there both the molecules are complementary in action, that's it. And even the Boehringer people, they don't claim it to be a synergistic effect, because see, the addition is going to reflect, the addition of this combination FDC is going to reflect in terms of the reductions in the HbA1c, that's it. And the additional benefit what they claim is that okay, the risk of the commonest side effect of this particular SGLT2 inhibitor being the genitourinary infections, and by changing the pH of this particular the external genitalia, the female genitalia, the incidence is going to be less when it is added on to that particular linagliptin, where it is going to suppress the DPP4 receptors of this particular genitalia. But for that, I don't think it has got anything to do with either the heart failure or with the 3-point MACE or with this thing. And one more thing I would like to stress upon is, if at all you want to start the therapy of this particular SGLT2 inhibitor and the DPP4 inhibitors, you start very early in the phase of diabetes, because once it goes on, so it badly reflects on the diabetic kidney disease, wherein the eGFR may go down below 60 or below 45, wherein the patient may not be able to be a suitable candidate, an ideal candidate to be put on this particular SGLT2 inhibitor. So what I would say is, if at all one wants to start, like hit hard and hit early, and apart from this particular the gold standard metformin, to start with that, and you add this particular combination of rimogliflozin and vildagliptin as early as in the disease course, and as early as possible, that only is going to make some wonders in the outcomes, I think. Thank you.